The most dangerous person in the room is not the one making the most noise. It is the one who is perfectly comfortable sitting in absolute silence, while everyone else is begging for attention, trying to prove their worth, and leaking their energy into a room that does not care. The unstoppable person is observing. They are calculating. They are building an empire behind closed doors. And by the time you realize what they have done, it is already too late. You are losing your power every single day, and you do not even realize how it is happening. You give it away in your constant need to explain yourself. You give it away when you react to every minor disrespect, every piece of online bait, and every person who doubts your potential. You think that by shouting louder, you are showing strength. You think that by defending your name, you are being resilient. But you are wrong. In fact, most people get this completely wrong. True power does not scream. True power whispers. It commands a room without saying a single word. Look at the people who have actually built something permanent in this world. Look at someone like Priyanka Chopra. Do you think she became a global icon by begging for permission? Do you think she waited for the world to hand her an invitation to the top? No. She mastered the art of moving in silence. She mastered the psychological framework of absolute self-belief. Even when the entire room was betting against her, let us be entirely honest with each other right now. Look at where you are standing today. Look at the current year. It is 2026. The world has never been louder. The distractions have never been more addictive. The constant digital noise is literally draining your focus, your ambition, and your edge. If you are still navigating this year with the same weak habits, the same need for validation, and the same reactive mindset that you had 2 years ago, you are not just falling behind, you are actively fading into irrelevance. Think about the psychological toll of being average. Think about the quiet desperation of waking up every morning knowing that you are capable of extraordinary things, yet settling for a life that feels completely generic. You watch other people achieve their wildest dreams on a screen while you remain stuck in the audience, clapping for their success. You feel ignored. You feel underappreciated. You work hard, but it feels like the world is constantly looking right through you. Why does that happen? Why do some people seem to have a magnetic gravity that pulls success, opportunities, and respect toward them, while others have to beg for a crumb of attention? It is because you are leaking your energy. You are too available. You are too predictable. You are trying so hard to be liked that you have forgotten how to be feared. Not feared in a way that causes harm, but feared in a way that commands absolute undeniable respect. The kind of respect that makes people think twice before they cross you. The kind of respect that makes people sit up straight when you walk into a room. But there is a catch. You cannot fake this. You cannot put on a mask of confidence and hope that people buy it. True magnetic presence is an internal state of being. It is a psychological fortress that you build stone by stone in the dark when nobody is watching you. Listen closely. If you want to become truly unstoppable in 2026, you need to tear down the old version of yourself and implement 3 deep psychological pillars. This is the blueprint that the top 1% uses to dominate. This is what they will never teach you in school. The first pillar is the absolute mastery of strategic silence. We live in a culture that rewards oversharing. People cannot eat a meal, have an argument, or form an opinion without broadcasting it to the entire world. They think that if they are not talking, they do not exist. But the high-value mindset understands that information is currency. The more you speak, the more currency you give away for free. When you tell everyone your plans before you execute them, you are robbing yourself of the psychological tension required to actually finish the job. You get a cheap hit of dopamine just from telling people what you intend to do, and then you lose the drive to actually do it. Stop telling people your next move. Move in complete mathematical silence. Let them think you are sleeping. Let them think you have given up. Let them think you are irrelevant. Let them comfort themselves with the lie that you are just like them, and then shock them with your execution. When Priyanka Chopra transitioned from being a superstar in India to starting completely over from scratch in Hollywood, she did not spend her time talking about what she was going to do. She did not brag about her past accolades to force people to respect her. She put her head down. She went to auditions. She sat in rooms where people did not know her name. And she let her work do the talking. She understood that when you are building something massive, your mouth should be closed and your eyes should be wide open. When you speak less, your words carry the weight of a sledgehammer. People who talk constantly are predictable. You always know what they are thinking, what hurts them, and what their next move is. They are easy to manipulate. But a person who listens, a person who holds their tongue, becomes a psychological enigma. People do not know how to read you. They do not know if you are agreeing with them or planning their downfall. That uncertainty creates a natural magnetic authority. It forces the people around you to step up their game just to match your frequency. Are you capable of going an entire week without defending yourself? If someone misunderstands you, can you let them be wrong without correcting them? If someone doubts your vision, can you smile, nod, and keep working without trying to convince them? If you cannot do that, you are not in control of your life. Your ego is in control, and your ego is a terrible driver. This brings us to the second pillar, owning your internal frequency. Most people are emotional chameleons. They walk into a room and unconsciously match the energy of the environment. If the room is chaotic, they become anxious. If the room is negative, they become cynical. If the room is filled with doubt, they abandon their confidence. They are completely at the mercies of their external surroundings. An unstoppable person does not match the energy of the room. They dictate it. Think about the concept of gravitational pull. The larger the mass of an object, the stronger its gravity, and the more it pulls other objects into its orbit. Your internal certainty must be so massive, so unshakable, that it develops its own gravity. When you walk into a room with a high-value mindset, your calm should quiet their chaos. Your clarity should dissolve their confusion. Your absolute, unbothered peace should make their petty drama look ridiculous. How do you build that kind of unshakable frequency? You do it by severing your emotional dependence on the opinions of others. You have to reach a point in your psychological development where praise cannot inflate your ego and criticism cannot wound your spirit. Both are just external noise. Both are distractions from your true mission. If you are constantly looking for a pat on the back, you are giving everyone else the remote control to your emotional state. If they like what you did, they press the button to make you happy. If they criticize what you did, they press the button to make you miserable. You are essentially a puppet dancing for their amusement. Look at the year 2026. Look at the speed at which judgments are passed. One day you are a hero, the next day you are a villain, and by the third day, everyone has forgotten your name anyway. Why would you base your self-worth on something so incredibly fragile and temporary? Priyanka Chopra has spoken openly about the immense pressure of being under a global microscope. She has faced backlashes, trolls, and systemic doors slammed directly in her face. But her frequency never wavered. Why? Because she knew who she was before the world told her who she should be. She owned her space. She understood that if you do not define your own value, the world will gladly miscalculate it for you. You must step into your own skin with an offensive level of certainty. You must look at your flaws, your scars, and your past failures. And you must accept them so completely that no one can ever use them as a weapon against you. When you are fully accountable for who you are, you become completely immune to the opinions of small-minded people. But there is a deeper layer to this. Most people think that owning your frequency means being aggressive or arrogant. They think it means walking around with a chip on your shoulder, trying to look tough. Here is the part they don't tell you. True high-value energy is remarkably soft, calm, and graceful. It is the relaxed posture of a tiger that knows it does not have to roar to prove it is a predator. Arrogance is loud because it is trying to hide a profound sense of insecurity. Confidence is quiet because it has absolutely nothing to prove. This leads us directly to the third pillar, the weaponization of resilience. Resilience is a word that gets thrown around a lot in motivational speeches, but most people do not understand its actual psychological utility. They think resilience means just taking a beating and keeping your head up. They think it is about endurance. But true resilience is not just about surviving the storm. It is about learning how to use the wind of that storm to propel you forward. It is the ability to take the very bricks that people throw at you and use them to lay the foundation of your monument. When you decide to become unstoppable, the universe is going to test you. It is not going to test you to punish you. It is going to test you to see if you are actually ready for the weight of the destiny you are claiming. It will send you financial strain. It will send you betrayal from people you trusted. It will send you periods of intense isolation, where it feels like nobody understands what you are trying to build. Most people break during these periods. They take the pain as a sign that they should stop. They assume that because things are difficult, they are on the wrong path. The high-value mindset views pain entirely differently. Pain is not a stop sign. Pain is a data point. It is a psychological weight training session. Every time you face an obstacle and choose to look it dead in the eye without flinching, your psychological capacity expands. You become heavier. You become harder to move. Think about the sheer audacity it takes to step out of your comfort zone, to leave your home country, to break through cultural boundaries, and to redefine what is possible on a global scale. That does not happen by playing it safe. It happens by developing a relationship with failure where you no longer fear it. You realize that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is an essential component of success. It is the raw material from which wisdom is forged. If you are not failing, you are not playing a big enough game. If your life is completely comfortable, if you never feel out of your depth, if you never experience the terrifying thrill of doing something you do not entirely know how to do, you are living in a psychological prison of your own making. You have traded your greatness for a false sense of security. Here is the warning you need to hear, and I want you to listen to this with every ounce of your attention. We are living through a massive historical shift. The year 2026 is a dividing line. The gap between those who are passive consumers and those who are active creators is widening into a canyon. The middle class of mindset is completely dying out. You are either going to become an absolute master of your focus, your energy, and your execution, or you are going to be completely chewed up and spit out by the algorithms of modern society. If you choose to ignore this advice, if you choose to stay comfortable, if you keep letting your attention be stolen by cheap distractions, if you keep talking about your dreams instead of bleeding for them, you will wake up in a few years and realize that the world has passed you by. You will be left with nothing but the bitter, toxic poison of regret. There is no pain on this earth worse than the pain of looking back at your life and realizing you settled for 20% of what you could have been. Do not let that be your story. You have the capacity right now, in this very moment, to shift your paradigm. You can decide that the version of you that needed everyone to like them is dead. You can decide that the version of you that wasted hours seeking validation is gone. You can step into a state of absolute, magnetic certainty. Start moving in silence. Protect your energy like it is the most valuable resource on the planet, because it is. When people look at you, let them see a calm, focused, unbreakable force of nature. Let them wonder how you stay so poised in the middle of chaos. Let them wonder where you get your strength. You do not need to explain your vision to anyone. Your results will do the talking for you. Your success will be the noise. Your legacy will be the statement. The world belongs to those who can master themselves. It belongs to those who can stand in the fire of adversity and look at the flames as nothing more than a tool to refine their gold. It belongs to those who have the courage to be completely unstoppable. The clock is ticking. The year is moving. The energy is waiting for you to claim it. If you are ready to bury your old limitations, if you are ready to lock in and become the absolute architect of your own destiny, if you are ready to let your silence scream louder than your words ever could, then leave a mark on this moment. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel to anchor yourself to this frequency. And comment down below, I am unstoppable. Let the words echo in your mind until they become your undeniable reality. Own your energy. Move in silence. Win the day.